Welcome back to the Big 1-2 here on 365 Sports, brought to you by Shorty's Pizza Shack. If you're in town watching us from around the Big 12, want a great game day location, Shorty's Pizza Shack at 12th and Bagby. They got the slice board, they got great pizza, great wings, great drink specials. We are now into JD's Chalk Talk. I'm Paul Kedlina, he's JD Piquel. He's got the chalk and he'll do most of the talking here. JD, we're going to talk about Jeff Grimes' offense at BYU and what he brings to Baylor. Obviously, this one's a little different because they have Zach Wilson. Baylor doesn't have Zach Wilson. They hope that they do. Maybe they do on their roster. Maybe they have a guy like that. But this is an offense that worked really well last year. The wide zone going to be starkly different than what the Bears ran in 2020.
Absolutely. And if you're a Baylor fan, you have an identity now offensively. Their identity is to run the wide zone. Everything they want to do predicated off this wide zone run play. If you watch the Broncos in the 90s, this is something they built their offense around. Obviously, college football now has taken it and added a bunch of counters and nuances to it, but that's kind of the bread and butter that they're going to have. BYU was a little more balanced last year offensively, and I think Baylor will be this year. About 51% run, 49% pass. I would imagine Baylor will be a little bit higher, but all that's to say, they want to run the football and establish that wide zone scheme early and often. So this is what it's all built on, the wide zone right here. The lineman, you're getting horizontal. You're trying to capture the outside edge of this defender. You're trying to get his shoulder so your running back can just get a nice little crease up in there. Now, if he wants to overrun it, we're going to cut right up underneath him. So it's all like an ebb and flow. We're trying to get this defense flowing as much as possible to set it up. So you'll see it right here. The first step for the offensive line is horizontal up this way, not to any particular guy, but just to try and get them and hook them in so this running back has a nice way to go. Also, note the personnel. You got two tight ends here. They can be very multiple with what they want to do on offense here because they have a lot of different players. I would expect that Jeff Grimes does the same and make sure he capitalizes on all the skill players that Baylor has between their tight end room with Dabney, Henley, Sims. I've talked enough. Let's get to the board. So you see it here. Watch this first step. Boom. They're all moving right there. They're all moving first step to the left to try and capture the outside shoulder. Now watch this guy. That linebacker rolls up. Tight end's supposed to take care of him. Can't get him, so what happens? Cuts right up underneath. Gets back outside to the flow of the play is Algier. Burners does the rest. Speed kills. Boom. Strike up the band. Cowboys a little quick here. Right here you have, it looks like a play action deal. So another thing you're going to be able to do out of this is the play action game of BYU. So when those defenders want to creep up, got something for you right behind you. So look at, snap of the football. They're all used to the wide zone. Troy's scared to death. They got 24 points hung on them so far. Linebackers are all keying right here. Look at, they're all flat-footed, even cheating up a little bit because they see this motion. They see the running back starting to go up, see the lineman starting to take a step to their wide zone scheme. Look right here. Uh-oh. All by himself. Touchdown. And we'll back it up here. Look how wide open my man is here.
And that wasn't even that great of a fake.
Wasn't even a great fake. Was not a great fake at all. And people are saying Gary Bohannon, does he have the arm to play in his offense? Paul, you and I can make that throw.
Yeah.
He's by himself. It was even he left it short. He threw a touchdown.
I'll tell you, if you watch the Oklahoma game, the short time that Gary Bohannon played, the throws he did make, he's got the arm to do it. Now, does he have the touch to do it? That's the question on Gary Bohannon. But he can make that throw because, again, that fake, if I'm the NFL and watching Zach Wilson make that fake, I'm be like, that's something we're going to work on.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to sell that a little bit harder. That is not exactly the old Peyton Manning watch tape of you doing real handoffs fake. That was just
Absolutely.
But it still worked like a charm.
Worked like a charm because they run the wide zone enough to get that defense keying up, and they're scared to death about getting just beat over the head again and again. Tired of getting yelled at because they're not getting to the edge and covering that running back. So, big play, BYU, strike up the band. Again, Zach Wilson threw the ball a lot last year. I think they won't do it quite as much in Baylor's scheme, but still, the fact you get guys running wide open because of what the wide zone makes the defense do, really encouraging for Baylor fans. Now, we mentioned it earlier. The defense is going to get tired of getting beat over and over again. So look, he's flowing. You create enough flow to where the defense is like, all right, we're tired of getting beat to the sideline. We're going to stop that before the play. We're going to cheat. So look, he's already running. He's already keying outside. He's coming up to fill. So what happens when you overcommit to the flow works against you, and you can cut right up underneath it. So you never want to cut back in this scheme, but you want to cut up. So look, he's going to press the heels of this tight end until there's a big gaping hole. He's going to cut right up underneath it. So Navy overcommits to the flow of the wide zone. That's where BYU catches them sleeping. Boom. Speed does the rest. We're home.
So for our viewers, JD, one of the things that really cool about this offense is, again, it's pretty simple at its core. It has simple goals. Like, give your playmaker one spot to go. Don't give him a bunch of choices to make, but once he makes that choice, he's going to get yardage.
1,000%. You want to make sure you have it all around the same principle of the wide zone. They'll do a lot of motions and things as well, which we'll get into here in a second, but all of it is predicated on getting 3 yards and a cloud of dust. You get 3 yards every single play, you are winning football games if you're Baylor this coming season. Like, that play wasn't built to go however long it did, 30, 40 yards for a touchdown. It was built to get 4 yards. Back had great vision, great speed, saw the hole, did the rest. So here, we talked about it before, different formations. They can be very multiple to what they want to do here with the wide zone. You see them go out a pistol here, same footwork, same kind of play. He's going to do a split step right here, push the heels of the outside lineman right here, try and make him wrong. He will be wrong if you have a good read. We'll see it, split step. Again, they're playing up over it. Guess what? He's leading the way. They're already out of the play. Running back, see that, be patient, still press his heels to keep him honest. Get up here. Set us up with a nice little 2nd and 2. Boom, run hard. That's another thing I'm excited about. This offense will have an identity of being physical. Eric Mateos, Jeff Grimes, they're guys that are going to make sure this Baylor offense is not, I don't want to say the word soft, that seems kind of mean, but they're going to make sure they play with an edge, because we saw that last year. There was no edge from this Baylor offense. That will not be the case this year as they continue to play with just grit.
Outside
black and
of
blue.
Physical problems that they had last year, they seemed confused every snap. Like everyone just seemed confused, and part of that was the nature of the beast. But they seemed real confused, and credit Dave Aranda for going, okay, what do I have on this offense, talent-wise, and what scheme-wise will intersect the things where we can make a simple adjustment, use the guys we have, and see some growth. I think this is, and again, the proof's going to be in the pudding, JD, but the wide zone is probably the best way they could have gone based on the personnel they had, especially left over from Matt Rule, who likes big, slobber-knocking offense. This is kind of like, it's not what they were running under Jeff Nixon, but it's not as far off as what they were trying to do under Larry Fedora last year.
1,000%. It's not a complex offense. Not complex. Also, I think you said it very well. The personnel is not a tall order. Like this lineman, if you see them, or we'll get to the next slide here, this line is not enormous. You don't have guys that are going to be playing on Sundays, all 5 of them. Now, they could. It's not a knock on BYU. But the fact of the matter is, you're not trying to overpower your man as much as you are just trying to wash him where he wants to go. So if you want to keep running with us, we're just going to keep letting you run to the sideline. We'll take you all the way there. We'll use your momentum against you, which is something that Baylor, I think, will be able to capitalize on.
The zone offense of the Broncos with Alex Gibbs, the offensive line coach back in the 90s, those guys, look at Mark Schlereth was one of them. Mark Schlereth is not Larry Allen big. I mean, they were smaller offensive linemen because they do have to get horizontal before they go vertical, like you said. So you want a guy whose first step laterally is quicker. Well, that's usually not a big, gigantic, huge dude like Orlando Pace, but it's maybe somebody who's a little bit leaner and smaller and quicker out there. And it's more about the technique than about pure brute strength. Like, the Cowboys' offense of the 90s was, we have the biggest offensive line. They're going to knock you in the dirt. We'll see you on the next play when you wipe your ass off.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's basically what there's going to be.
Absolutely. No, I mean, they're not trying to absolutely beat you up. They are, but not with a power scheme or with a we're just going to go man-on-man block here. Another thing you can do out of it, the motions, the window dressing. This is the exact next play. So they just had a nice little gain of 8, and now the whole defense is shook, right? They're worried about, is this wide zone going to come this way, that way, the other way? So these linebackers, this defensive line, they're all key in the offensive line. So the offensive line is going to take a step this way. They're going to go wide zone left, essentially. We're going to get a motion right here that's going to get just enough movement to make them just enough confused to pick up that first down. So watch what my man here does. He'll hesitate for just a second. He's supposed to be on this this speed sweep, if you will. Watch him. It's not going to be a... I'm wrong. Him. Watch him hesitate just enough. Just enough. Still makes the tackle, but we're still getting. We're still picking up with that motion, you're getting guys to hesitate, and you don't need them to totally go the other way. You don't need a complete deception. You get enough to make sure that they're just having a second thought, beat them to the spot, and you're getting a first down.
All right. So what's next, JD? This is on the blue turf.
Blue turf.
Look, this is a game. If you look at the score right there, that doesn't happen on the blue turf all that often. Now, granted, BYU had already played 7 games, and Boise State had just started their season.
Sure.
But even still, this shows you how dominant this offense could be.
So dominant. I mean, the motions, I think, is something we heard a lot about out of camp. They're so deceptive. They do a lot with, speed sweep motions like we saw in the previous play. This is just the same thing. They're going to go wide zone to the right, speed sweep to the left, and everyone's confused on the blue turf, and he trots in for 6. Easy. Same thing here. He's coming across. They have no idea what's going on. Again, short week, so that probably helped them. Short week, they see the motion this way. They've been beat with the wide zone enough times. They've been beat with the motion enough times. They're all out of whack. They bite so hard on this motion, and it's just an easy right up the gut for Algier. We'll see it. Boom. Everyone's flowing. He's that way. He's that way. He's that way. Buddy has 2 guys coming at him. He's not going to make the tackle. See ya. Great cut. Again, they over-pursued this way. They overcompensated for the wide zone. Speed does the rest. Speed kills. Should we mention Algier, also a converted linebacker. He's a guy that was playing linebacker a year ago, gets downhill fast. You're not going to see a lot of shake and bake from him. Same with Abram Smith. I really like Abram Smith in this offense for that purpose.
And you mentioned those speed sweeps. I mean, not only Treston Ebner, but Josh Fleeks and some of the other guys, Squirrel Williams. I mean, Squirrel Williams on a speed sweep. Those are personnel things that Baylor can do in this offense that will move those running backs and wide receivers around to give them more opportunities, which they did not have last year. They kind of had, 2 opportunities to get the ball in their hands. This is a lot more diverse offense.
Absolutely. I mean, Josh Fleeks off the speed sweeps, a guy I'm really excited to see. We saw him in the spring game. I think he got called back. Took one to the house with a club on his hand. That's just enough of what the motions do for you. They get the defense hesitating. They don't have to take a complete guy out of the play, hesitating enough to where you have the speed to beat him to the edge and get where you want to go. Now, you can also do some RPO stuff, do some play action stuff. We saw that very first play, went deep to my man Dax, got him wide open on the poor fake from Zach Wilson, but you can also do a lot out of the RPO game. This is a hitches concept, so he's going to come right here and sit right here. Wilson's read right around here. If they want to flow with what this outside wide zone is bringing, he will just throw it right here. If they want to sit, we'll hand it and he'll walk in. Probably have both here, honestly. Boom. He's sitting, he doesn't trust it. He wants to make sure he's here for the backside of the wide zone. My man. Again, not hard throws. Zach Wilson can make some hard throws. Gary Bohanna's not going to have to fit it in a window every single time. Good timing, easy money, strike up the band.
There we go. Well, that's something else. It's simplified. Not a ton of hard throws. You got a new quarterback, and you might have 2 different new quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. If Gary Bohannon struggles, or say somebody overtakes him eventually in practice, then you might have to switch again. Somebody gets injured, you're going to have to switch again. Keep it simple, because you got 3 guys who've thrown maybe a total of 20 passes between them in college football. So keep it simple, especially early on.
The simplicity of this offense is what's going to make whoever's playing quarterback comfortable. I'm not asking you to do a ton. Make the right read, make the simple read. You probably have 1 to 2 options on each play. Deliver the football. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Now we put it all together here. We talked about the motion, talked about the wide zone making everybody nervous, the movement. This is a perfect play action example where they're going to get him coming back across. They're nervous for the speed sweep. They're confused because they've had it run on them all night long. They're going to get it run on them a whole lot more as this game progresses, but we see it here early. Play action. They're just all out of whack. The motion puts them all out of whack. This is a best case scenario where the motion actually does confuse them enough to where they have no idea who's got who and what assignment it is. He's going to come off a play action fake, slip right here. He's coming in hot off a blitz. Wilson recognizes it right away. Dumps it to my man. Again, strike up the band. We got him, coach. So watch. He's coming across. And watch what these linebackers do. Boom. He's up here. He's got a sweep. He's got it figured out. Speed sweep. I got it, coach. Got it, coach. Speed sweep. Coming down to run support. For sure. Oh, he doesn't have the ball. Uh-oh. He's all by himself. This is a whole lot of green grass. Now, this is a little bit of a tougher throw because you got somebody in your face. Hard to make a throw with someone in your lap, but look at it. Put some good touch on it. Strike up the band. And again, I don't think that's too tall of an order for Gary Bohanna. He's still a Division I quarterback. Alabama wanted him as a linebacker. Georgia wanted him as a linebacker. So he's a great athlete. still a guy that came to Baylor to play quarterback. So I think that's going to be an easy throw for him. This offense has a lot of answers and a lot of things that keep you not only ahead of the chains, but also ahead of the defense schematically.
All right. Anything else, JD?
Man, that was it. That's the grand finale.
Again, I'm riveted by all of this. And I'm very excited to see this in practice in the Big 12 with Baylor this year, an offense that struggled mightily. That's Chalk Talk. Thank you, everybody, for watching the Big 1-2. We're pretty happy with the debut last week. Let's beat it this week, and let's beat it every week, guys. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, do it, or I'm sending JD to your house, and he's going to beg you. He's not going to muscle you up. Like, he's got muscles. He's not a scare guy. He's just going to beg you. And you don't want to see a guy like that
Puppy dog
be
eyes.
that pathetic.
Puppy dog eyes.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Tell whoever. This is the Big 1-2. I'm Paul Catalini. He's JD Pickell. Thanks to Jack McKenzie and Armstrong Sims for their production work in the background. And thanks to Shorty's Pizza Shack at 12th and Bagby. Find out more at shortyspizzashack.com. This is the Big 1-2 on 365 Sports.